So, trading chart patterns, what's all the fuss about? Or more importantly, are chart patterns actually any good to use as a trading strategy? Well, let's have a look at the triangle chart pattern and see it applied in some real-world charts. We can't make money from theory, so we look at real-world examples that you can look at on your own charts too. Oh, and don't worry. I'm not selling you some $1,000 course teaching you the secrets. All the information is completely free, and once you know what to look for, you can try find it yourself. If you are completely new to trading, simply pause or rewind this video if you get stuck on it, or if we move too fast. You can practice this strategy on your own to see how it works out, but some great, world-class traders use it, one example being Dan Zanger. First off, for the beginner, a triangle chart pattern is a simple way of spotting patterns on a price chart to potentially signal the future direction of the chart you're looking at. Okay, if that's a handful, let's look at a visual representation of it to make it easier. Now, you'll sometimes hear traders refer to triangle patterns as wedges or pennants. It can have different names, but it generally means the same thing. The most popular triangle patterns are the ascending triangle and the descending triangle. The clue is in the name as to the meaning. An ascending triangle assumes the price might go higher, and a descending triangle assumes the price might go lower. Simply put, if the price breaks the resistance line on an ascending triangle, it's considered a buy signal, and if the price breaks the support line on a descending triangle, it's considered a sell signal. Before we look at some real-world examples of this in action, just know that there is an ongoing debate between purely technical traders and purely fundamental traders as to the effectiveness of chart patterns. But instead of getting caught up in opinions, let's actually look at some price charts. You be the judge. Now, people will say looking back at the charts in hindsight is easier to spot the patterns, and they have a point. But you can only practice spotting these patterns by looking through the charts of the past and practicing. Let's look at some recent chart examples with the triangle pattern in action. Later in the video, we'll mention a basic formula that will make trading these patterns even more powerful. Let's first look at some of the most popular stocks in the world. First up is Tesla. On this hourly chart, Tesla set a great buy point at $439 a few months ago. As you can see from the chart, it ran up to $680. Elon Musk must be a very happy man. If we scroll back a little further in time, we'll see more of these patterns on an hourly chart. Here's another example of a Tesla buy a few months ago. Now, just to be clear, these are examples from the past and are for educational purposes. We are not telling you to buy Tesla right now. As you try to spot these patterns on your own charts, you'll start to see them everywhere. On your charts, in your dreams, on your dates. Okay, maybe not on your dates, but you get the point. Now, you might be thinking this pattern only works on the hourly chart. Well, that's simply not true. Let's take a look at some other examples on the daily time frame. Enter Shopify. Here's a daily chart of Shopify. If you thought Shopify was a great company, imagine merging both the fundamentals of a stock with the technicals. It's moved over 200% since that buy signal. Many small losses will be erased if you can catch some great winners too. This chart pattern offers great risk-reward setups on multiple time frames. Maybe you prefer trading smaller time frames. Well, let's look for chart patterns on the 5-minute chart. Here's a 5-minute chart of Netflix. If you prefer taking a quick scalp trade, you can try find these patterns on different stocks around the world on the lower timeframes. There are so many examples in different markets around the world, so you aren't limited to just the American stock market. So that's plenty of examples of winning trades using the ascending triangle pattern. Let's look at some losers too. Contrary to what fake gurus will have you believe, you will have losses, and that's normal. Just make sure to manage your risk. We've seen the moves these trades can have when they are successful. Let's look at losers too. Here's a 4-hour chart of Facebook. We can see from the chart that this buy point initially got traction, and we were in a winning trade. However, as you can see, the ascending triangle buy point failed, and we simply stop out. You see the importance of risk management, by the way. Had we not stopped out, we'd be in a world of pain. That's why risk management is so important. Your trading balance needs to be alive for those nicer trades that worked out, and you won't have any money left if you hold on to losers. So, that's the ascending triangle or wedge. What about the descending triangles? Let's go pattern hunting again. Here's the stock Nikola. Now, if you haven't already heard, Nikola has been caught up in some controversies. You can Google to see what exactly. But let's look at the price chart. With the different problems Nikola was facing publicly, it was setting up a beautiful descending chart pattern. Look at the hourly chart. Now, if you can have some catalysts with these chart patterns, it can be very powerful. When it broke support, marked by the arrow, it dropped nearly 60% in a month. So in this example, catalyst plus chart pattern equals 60% drop. It actually dropped much more in the following months. There's nothing more exciting than this formula. Even your dog should learn it. Alright, that's an hourly descending triangle chart. What about a daily one? Fair enough. Here's Groupon. Remember Groupon, the annoying emails you get with some deal for a cafe about 1,000 miles from your house? Yes, that Groupon. Well, here's a descending triangle on its daily chart. Once it broke the support line, there was over a 65% drop in a couple of months. Fundamentally, Groupon has struggled, so this stock is another example of using chart patterns with a catalyst or an underlying story. If you prefer to day trade these types of chart patterns, we'll look at a lower timeframe chart. The next stock is Square. Let's look at its 5-minute chart. Once Square broke the support level, there was a nice fast drop. These patterns on the lower timeframes can be advantageous to the day traders out there. But every trade isn't always an amazing winner. Always remember, not all trades are winners. Here's a look at a loser too. In this example, we have Expedia hourly chart. Going short on the break of support where the arrow is would have been a losing trade. Initially, it was a winning trade, but it slowly reversed and traded back up where we should be stopping out. It doesn't matter that it tanked in price later on in the chart. We don't know that could happen in real time, so it's a best practice to cut your losses short and move on. There are always lots of these patterns every week. Again, we've seen the big winners these patterns can have in the real world, but you must always stop out when it doesn't work. We want to save our money for the better trades and cut our losses fast. Nobody talks about the losers, but they are more important than the winners because we learn more from losing trades. Right, you've seen stocks, but does this triangle pattern work in other markets? Well, let's see real-world examples and see for yourself. To all the Bitcoin traders out there, here's a chart of Bitcoin versus the dollar. There's a beautiful ascending triangle pattern. We love these type of clean moves through the breakout level. If you wanted to buy Bitcoin, this chart pattern would have provided a great opportunity at a great risk-reward level. And here's another one. This time, it's the gold chart in the commodities market. When you find trending price charts and see a pattern form, they can be very powerful. In this gold chart, we can see a very clear breakout and a big move up. These are the charts we dream of. Stress-free winning trades will never get old. Here's another example on gold. This time, it's a few months later, there's a descending triangle. Once it cracks support, it had a fast drop. Generally, you'll find if the trade is going to be a winner, you'll usually be in profit straight away. If the price doesn't move through the support or resistance level fast, this can be an indication that the market is not ready to break out or break down. If you are a longer-term trader, you can try find these patterns on a weekly or monthly chart too. Here's a look at the weekly chart of Facebook since its IPO in 2013. I know what you're thinking. Mark Zuckerberg must be a very lucky man. Just kidding. But take a look at that beautiful triangle. If you see Mark, you can thank him for the wonderful triangle pattern his company created. Searching for these type of patterns around IPOs can be a powerful trading strategy when done right. Here's another triangle pattern that emerged at the Shopify IPO. It's a daily chart. That original buy signal was at around $31, and the price is now over $1,300. Now, obviously, hindsight is a wonderful thing, but for the longer-term traders or investors, this could be a useful pattern in your toolbox. Open up your own charting software and have a look at Shopify a year after its IPO and see for yourself. These triangle patterns are everywhere, so go hunting for them yourself. Many fake gurus would charge you thousands for this basic information, which should be free. Simplicity is key to this strategy, and practicing with a demo account might be a good starting point. You can always backtest this strategy yourself to see what the win rate is like and what sort of risk-reward ratios you can expect. Just remember that every market is different. Some move slow and others move fast, so keep that in mind too. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos in the future where we look at other trading strategies and apply them to the real world. Everything in your life will now become a triangle, so happy hunting.